Hello everyone, today I'm looking at working with negative numbers. Okay, and I've got a very simple question to ask you straight away. Which of these numbers is bigger, -3 or -9? Well, I'm hoping you got the correct answer in this one. I reckon a lot of you will have said -9, and I can tell you why I think you say that, because you look at the number and say, well, okay, 9 is a bigger number than 3, so this must be the biggest number. Well, I'm afraid to say that isn't actually quite correct, because here we are with my number line, okay? And you look at this and you say, well, what's the biggest number on this number line? And you'd all tell me it's here, +10, okay? So if I was identifying where -3 was, well, it's here, and where -9 was, well, it's here. Well, now I'm hoping you'll be able to tell me actually -3 is a bigger number than -9. Okay? Because look, it's closer to, here's the biggest number, so this must be the smallest number at the other end of the scale. Okay? This might be a bigger negative, but no, 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 no. This is the biggest number, and this is the smallest number. Okay, so -3 is in fact bigger than -9. Okay, so you need to be careful on that. Okay, just because it's a uh, big number here, the fact that there's a minus means that it's actually a smaller number than -3. Okay, so -3 is the bigger of those numbers. Okay. Now then, we're going to look at adding and subtracting. Start with negatives. The way I like to do this, okay, in my mind, obviously I don't want to bother drawing out a number line every time, but it might be helpful to start with, okay. What I like to do when I'm working with negatives is actually just to put myself on the number line at whatever the first number is. So I'm going to put myself here at -3, and then I do the second thing, because otherwise it can get a bit confusing, okay? So I put myself at -3, and what am I going to do? I'm going to add 9. Well, if I add 9 to that, okay, adding puts me to the right here. So I'm going to add a 9 and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to end up at 6, +6, okay? A lot of people will say, oh, you go down further. No, no. Adding, I go to the right, I go up, I make the number bigger, okay? Now then, here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place myself, where? Again, at -3. But then this time, what am I going to do? I'm going to subtract 5. If I subtract 5, I'm going to go down, okay? So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? So I'm going to end up at a -8. Okay, so this is the best way to do it. If you've got a little sum like this, -3, -5, or in the previous one, -3 plus 9, or whatever it might be, okay, always put yourself on the number. Imagine you're on the number line at the first digit, the first number here, and then use the second one as your operation, as what you're going to do, okay? Now then, things start getting a bit trickier when we've got multiple signs in the middle here, okay? Same rule still applies. Put myself at -3. Okay. Go put yourself at the first place. Then think to yourself, okay, now I'm adding -5. Now I'm afraid in this case, this is just where mathematicians have gone, you know what, we're going to make a rule. Okay. And if you've got two different signs here, okay, so a plus and a minus together, or a minus and then a plus, okay, it doesn't matter. But if it's different signs next to each other like this, that's going to be the same as a minus sign. Okay, so in fact we do the same as we did last time, is we go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I end up at -8. So if I've got two signs which are different, it ends up being a minus, okay? If I've got two signs which are the same, you might get plus plus, but more likely you'll get minus minus. We do the same, we do something slightly different, sorry. We still follow the same thing. I place myself at -7. Always look for that first digit to orientate yourself on the number line. Where am I starting from? I'm starting at -7. But this time, when I've got two signs which are the same, minus and minus, this is going to be the same as a plus sign. Okay. So that's I'm starting at -7, but I'm adding 5. Remember, adding 5 takes me to the right. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I end up at -2. Okay. So place yourself at the first number and then look for what the signs are. And if you're taking notes, here's a useful little sign for you, okay? If they're two different signs, okay, a plus and a minus, minus and a plus, that overall equates to, that becomes a minus. If it's two of the same sign, okay, like we just saw there, minus and minus, we think of that as a plus sign, okay? So that's how we add and subtract with negatives, okay? We're now going to look very briefly at multiplying and dividing, because actually this is very, very simple as well. When I've got two mixed signs, a negative and a positive, if there's no sign here that's a positive, then it's going to be a negative answer. If I've got two signs which are the same, a minus and a minus, then it's going to be a positive answer. Okay, so here all I need to worry about is doing the sum. 5 times by 3 is 15. Okay, but a minus times by a positive, it's a minus. A mixed sign, a different signs, a minus and a positive. Okay, they're different, so I get a minus here. Here I do the same sum. 8 times by 4 is 32. But because it's the same sign, a minus times by a minus, I leave it as a positive, okay? Here, 9 divided by 3, well that's 3. But because it's a negative and a positive number here, they're different signs, so I put a negative here. And here, 15 divided by, minus 15 divided by minus 5, well, what's 15 divided by 5 is simply 3. But because it's a minus divided by a minus, they're the same signs, so I leave it as a 3. Okay? So when the signs are the same, negative and negative, or if it would just been, say, 30 divided by 6, a positive divided by a positive, the signs are the same, so I'm going to get a positive answer. The second I start getting different signs, a minus and a positive, a minus and a positive, then I have a minus answer, okay? Should be nice and straightforward, then you're just worrying about doing what the sum is, okay? 9 divided by 3 or whatever it might be. Okay, any problems, do come and ask me for some questions.